So we all have those things in life that we're not good at. I've got a ton of them. I also have things in life that I absolutely suck at. And I'm talking hardcore.
You suck!
One of those is sharpening knives. I am absolutely horrible at sharpening knives. When I am done, this knife will be duller than a date night at the library, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, do you hear that, lads? He says we'll blunt the knives.
Now, some people can take an old school sharpening block like this one that belonged to my grandfather, and they can turn this knife into a surgical scalpel. I am not one of those people, so I picked this up. So yes, full disclosure, not a sponsored video. I paid for this myself, so we're really going to see what I think about this product. At the end, I'm going to give you a summary of how it worked. But let's dive in. Let's take a look at what we have. So this is the Precision Adjust Knife Sharpener by Worksharp. And one thing that caught my eye with this particular kit is just a variety of different knives that you can actually do, from hunting to fillet. So let's take a look at what's in the box. So over on this side we have the sharpening rod with the abrasions on it. Here's our mounting base. This is the upright section, and this is where you're going to set your angle by adjusting this little knob at the top, and your angle is going to go higher or lower as you twist it. And finally we have the jaws, or the clamp that holds the blade in place. This little piece of paper you want to make sure to keep, because there's some rubber jaws in here and you don't want those to get damaged and stick together. Here is the rod with the abrasions on it. It's a pretty clever design, really. And this is called a tri-abrasion set. So all your different abrasions are on this triangle, and you just simply spin them to get the one you want, from the coarsest all the way up to the ceramic. And then of course it just slides back and forth, and that's what does the sharpening action for you. So actually super cool design, and as you'll see in a minute, it all locks together with magnets. So really, really awesome. Let's see how it goes together. So you want to have the Worksharp logo facing you, and you're going to put the upright in at an angle in the front and then snap it in the back. Once you do that, it's not going anywhere. So it's very secure. Now it's time for the jaws. And the cool thing about these is, I see I've got the paper in there still, but the cool thing about these jaws is that they're magnetic. So here's 3 magnets on the back, and there's magnets inside the upright. So really all you have to do is put it in there, and the magnetics hold it tight. So awesome. Spin it around to the back, you're going to see this button. Press that button. That's going to allow you to spin the jaws easily, so you could do both sides of the knife without ever taking it out of the jaws itself. So I thought that was an awesome feature in itself. Now to loosen and tighten these jaws, it's just a simple turn of this knob right here. You're going to turn it to the left to loosen it, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, just like that. Pop the paper out, and now that's where you're going to put your blade whenever it comes time. Now if we pan upwards, here's where you're actually going to get a better view of those angles. And you can see right now I'm adjusting it up and down to get the angle that I want. Now depending on what kind of knife you have and the longevity of your blade sharpness, I guess you'd say, you're going to refer to the instructions. And it says that, you know, for a pocket knife or a hunting knife, typically you're within that 20 to 25 degree mark. So I went with just a happy medium on this one, and I wanted to set it somewhere around that 22 degrees. I just thought that would give me a good sharp blade, but also provide me some longevity in how long that knife stays sharp. The last thing that we need to put in is the actual arm itself, the rod, and you can see it's kind of like a tie rod end for a car. It's a really cool design. It's going to slip up in here, and what I think is the most awesome is that it's just held in place by magnets, and this just actually snaps right in there. So super, super awesome, and it maintains that angle for you that you've already set. So again, the abrasions just slide up and down that rod, and the rod's held in place with that magnet, so you can also disconnect it and swap out with other abrasives if you needed to. But you see how this just slides back and forth, and it just keeps that angle. Now, one tip is when you put your knife in, you want to make sure that you're able to rotate it all the way. If you can't and you're hitting the handle, then you need to readjust. But once you've got it mounted, now it's just a simple back and forth motion, nice and smooth. You don't need to put much pressure on it. And you're going to go through all 3 abrasives. And when you do that, you end up with an actual sharp blade. Take a look at this, a far cry from what I had earlier. So bottom line, what did I learn? What do I think? Obviously, I think in terms of sharpness of the knife, this is as sharp as I've ever been able to get a knife. I'm sure there's people out there, I watch them on YouTube all the time, that deadly sharp, blades. This is as best as I've ever gotten one, to be honest. I feel really happy with how this turned out. So I've got a whole drawer full of knives that I really need to work on. I really liked how it all goes together. Very simple. You really don't need the instructions, which is great for a man like myself who isn't going to read them anyway. Watch a couple videos and you'll see how it works. Hopefully watch this one and you see how it works. Really like the simplicity of it. I feel like it's going to keep me from doing the wrong things, the things that have made all my stuff dull in the past. I really liked how just the sharpening stones actually turn on this rod, and how you can actually, one of the things I learned, you adjust these O-rings that are on the rod so you'll get a full stroke across. And who doesn't really like a full stroke? I mean, to be honest.
How dare you!
A couple things I did find myself that I learned is what I showed you with keeping my hand on this base. I didn't need to do it, but it just made me feel a little bit more secure in the process. So that was one thing. Again, going the whole stroke. Trying to get an even number of strokes on each side of the blade so that you don't have one angle that's off versus the other. That seemed to help. The other thing is that you want to go across it with the stone until you feel a burr on the other side. And I didn't really understand, well, how do I know if there's a burr? If you have to ask, is there a burr? There's not. You will actually know. You'll feel it just on the pads of your fingers, just real gently by rubbing it on there. So if you have to ask, you don't have it yet. Lastly, you can buy an accessory kit to this. What that comes with is some more rods with different coarseness. It also comes with a zipper bag for this. I wish I had that because it has a 200, I think, stone to start with, which they call it the repair. And as I've told you guys already, I need to repair some. For sure, because I've ruined the angles on some of these knives. I know just from what I learned from this. So I wish I had that accessory kit. So Worksharp, if you're watching, hook a brother up. I'd love to do a follow-up video with those. And again, it comes with a nice little case to put it in, so that would be excellent. I would probably recommend that. But if you're starting out with knives that are decently sharp, that have decent angles already, this kit will be perfect. I need to do some repairs. So that's where we stand. Overall, would I buy this? The price of it was $59.95. Would I get this thing again? Absolutely, hell yeah, in a heartbeat. I just really like it, and I think it's going to make my knife carrying more enjoyable and safer because all my knives are going to be sharper. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, check out gearsgunsandgrub.com for written blog content, recipes, all that good stuff. You know where to hit it. So I will see you guys the next time. I really appreciate you, and God bless.